Hello everyone and welcome back to another Luke Theme Park Thrills YouTube video, where today I'm going to be doing another ranking video, but this time I'm doing my top 8 roller coasters at Thorpe Park. And now Thorpe Park is a theme park down near London. It's in Chertsey, and it only features 8 roller coasters, some of the most famous in the UK, and I'm going to be ranking them today just like I did with my top 10 roller coasters at Alton Towers. So let's get straight in with it. At number 8, I have Flying Fish. Now, Flying Fish originally opened back in 1984 as Space Station Zero in the Amity Cove section of the park with over-the-shoulder restraints. And then it got moved over to where Stealth is today in 2000 for the 2006 season, and it closed and it reopened in 2007 near where Swarm is, where it has stood there ever since. And now Flying Fish is a pretty famous roller coaster for Thorpe Park, and a lot of fans like it. And it's just not a very thrilling coaster. It's the exact same layout as Scorpion Express down at Chesterton World of Adventures, which has now closed. And it's a Mack powered roller coaster, so it's not the most thrilling or anything like that, but it is just good fun. I haven't done it for a while, but I did it on my last trip down to Thorpe Park, and it's pretty good. Got a length of 767 foot, so not the longest coaster. You do usually get 2 to 3 laps on that, depending on how nice the operator is. Got a height of 20 foot and a top speed of 18 miles per hour. It's not the most tallest or fastest, and it doesn't feature any inversions. It doesn't have much theming around the area, just a few like lakes and stuff. It's it's just not my personal favourite coaster down at Thorpe Park. So then at number 7 we have The Walking Dead the Ride. Now this coaster originally opened back in 1996 as X No Way Out, and then it was a backwards coaster in the dark, and it's located in the Pyramid Building, which is quite a famous building in Thorpe Park in the centre of the park. Anyway, X No Way Out carried on from 1996 all up until 2012, when in 2013 it became X and it had a forward-facing trains, and that carried on until 2017, and then in 2018 The Walking Dead took over. And it's a family coaster. The layout is, the theming is horror. It's not recommended for those age 13 plus. It is a Vekoma Enigma coaster, and that opened back in 1996. Obviously, it's in the dockyard section of the park, next to Ghost Train, and near where Nemesis Inferno is. And it is a family coaster, the layout, but the theming is quite dark and heavy because of The Walking Dead. Never watched The Walking Dead personally, so I don't know if the theming or stuff is accurate. I'm presuming it is. Thorpe Park and Millen always do a good job. It's got actors in the end and the exit corridor. That's why it is a 1.4 metre height restriction. I never experienced the coaster with actors at the end, so I don't know what that is. It's got a length of 1,312 foot. It's a pretty long coaster. It does feature a pre-show at the start, and it has a few mid-course break runs in there with theming on, which makes it a little bit nicer. Height of 41 foot, and you don't really feel that because you are indoors. It does look a lot taller than the lift door does when you're actually on the ride. It's got a speed of 27 miles per hour. Sorry, I don't really feel that. No inversions or anything. It is a pretty nice coaster, nice theming and stuff. And I do like The Walking Dead the Ride. So then that is the family coasters done. Time to move on to our first thrill coaster, and that is number 6, Colossus. Now, Colossus is the world's first 10-looping roller coaster back when it opened in 2002. It's located in the Lost City area of the park, and in 2002 it was the world's first 10-looping roller coaster, and until 2013 it was the record holder. And then the Smiler opened at Alton Towers with the world record of 14 inversions. So Colossus features 10. It has a loop, a cobra roll, a double corkscrew, and 5 heartline rolls. It's got a pretty famous quad heartline rolls. Also in the ride, it's got a height of 98 foot. It is one of the smaller thrill coasters at Thorpe Park. It's got a speed of only 45 miles per hour, another slow coaster. Obviously Wickerman at Alton Towers I think it's faster than Colossus, which is quite crazy to think about. Got a length of 2,788 foot. It is a long coaster. I mean, I do like the layout of Colossus, but with the restraints and the train design, it is quite rough. That's why it is ranked at number 6. Obviously, it does feature the tenant versions. Yeah, if you want to sit, the best place to sit on Colossus is on the front row. You get the views of the track and the surrounding area, and it offers a smoother ride experience. But yeah, so that is located in Lost City, manufactured by Intamin. At number 5, then, we have Soar the Ride. Now, this coaster opened back in 2009 as the world's first horror-themed roller coaster. It is a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, has a top height of 100 foot and a vertical angle drop of 100 degrees. I think it is the steepest roller coaster in the UK, and it is a pretty fun coaster. I do like Saw. I like the theming of the indoor section as well. Like I said with The Walking Dead, I've not watched Saw either, and I don't know the theming or anything, but I do like the theming of that. I do like Saw. The indoor section is fun. There's features 3 versions: the inline twist indoors, the Immelman, and the dive loop. And it is a fun ride. Don't get me wrong, it can be rough if you're on the back row. I mean, even on the front, it can be rough, but I do prefer a front row ride than a back on Saw. But in the indoor section, nice theming, got a couple drops, and if you're the second dispatch, you do have that pre-show with Billy. Just to make mention, on Saw and The Walking Dead, there is a single rider queue, so make sure to use that. And it does usually shorten the queue times, especially for Saw. It's quite a long, this is a popular coaster, so yeah, I always use a single rider queue for me. But yeah, so you obviously have the indoor section with the inline twist, then you make your way outside, up the 100-foot vertical lift hill, and down the 100-degree drop, and that drop is pretty good. But once you get to the bottom, it is quite rough, and then you make your way into the Immelman, make your way around past Hyperion, and then you make your way into the airtime hill. Probably my favourite part of the ride. It's an absolutely fantastic airtime moment. And then you make your way into the mid-course breaker, which doesn't slow you down at all. And then you make your way down to a pretty intense drop into a rough dive loop. Got a length of 2,362 foot, which is quite a long coaster. And yeah, Saw is a good coaster. And then at number 4, we have Nemesis Inferno. Now, Nemesis Inferno opened back in 2003. It's a B&M inverted roller coaster, and I do like it. It's not better than Nemesis Reborn, in my opinion, but I do like Inferno. It has a length of 2,460 foot, which is a pretty long coaster. Got a height of 95 foot, the smallest thrill coaster at Thorpe Park. Speed of 47 miles per hour, and you do really feel like on the back row. On Nemesis Inferno, you want to be at the back, not over the front. And that is with just all being inverted roller coasters. Got features 4 inversions, a vertical loop, a 0G roll, and 2 interlocking corkscrews, which is absolutely fantastic on and off ride. It is quite an intense coaster with a G-force of 4.5, and you really feel that at the bottom of the vertical loop, and also the final helix into the brake run. Really intense part of the ride, that, but it is one of my favourites. I also like the pre-lift section before the lift, obviously. As you make your way down out of the station to the tunnel, got a few mist, a few turns. Yeah, it's just fun way to start the ride. And I do like Nemesis Inferno down at Thorpe Park. So moving on to then the top 3. At number 3, we have the Swarm. Now, the Swarm opened back in 2012. It's the B&M Wing roller coaster, and it's located right at the front of the park, so it does get very popular early on in the day. It's quite a tall coaster. It doesn't really dominate the skyline. So you have 2 taller coasters, but the Swarm is 127 foot. It is quite a tall coaster, and obviously after the lift hill, you get the first inversion on the ride, the wing over drop, which was the first wing coaster to feature that inversion. Love that drop, I do. The hang time as you go through the inversion, and then you just straight down the 127 foot drop, and then you get a top speed of 59 miles per hour. And I do love the Swarm on the front row of the theming and views, but you want to be on the back row for the Swarm. Absolutely love the Swarm. Feature 4 inversions, obviously the wing over drop we've already mentioned, a 0G roll, a corkscrew, and the inline twist over the station. Really slow elements on that. Probably one of my favourite parts of the ride. It is quite a short coaster in duration, but it is a length of 2,543 foot. Yeah, with the Swarm, got loads of theming around the area, the church station, the billboard, the fire truck, the Blade Wing. Absolutely incredible. The Swarm is probably my favourite themed area at Thorpe Park. I do love the Swarm, especially on the back row. It's really intense, especially on that helix, just after the over the water, just before the corkscrew on the Swarm. Uh, there we go. That's my top. That's number 3 done. Now it's time for number 2. And we have Stealth. Now, Stealth opened back in 2006. It's an intimate hydraulic launch coaster. Only been on 2, Rita at Alton Towers and Stealth at Thorpe Park. Absolutely love Stealth. Um, Obviously, it has a top speed of 80 miles per hour. It's a launch of 0 to 80 miles per hour in 1.8 seconds. It's the world's fastest accelerating roller coaster. You really feel that on the launch. The launch is really intense. I do love a front row on Stealth. It's probably my favourite over a back row. Just the wind in your face on that launch. And you do climb 205 foot. It was the tallest coaster at Thorpe Park for a very long time. And obviously Hyperion opened last year. Yeah, but Stealth, what a view over that top hat. And if you're on the back row, you crawl over the top and then get flung down here for the remainder of the ride. Doesn't feature any inversions or anything. It is a short coaster for duration of only 20 seconds. And it's got a length of 1,312 foot. But Stealth is an absolutely fantastic coaster. I do love a good hydraulic launch coaster, and Stealth just packs that punch. It's absolutely fantastic. I love the audio and the theming around Stealth as well in Amity Speedway. And just the atmosphere around there is really good. Absolutely love Stealth. And I always will, I think. I'm going to be so sad to see that leave the park when the hydraulics eventually give way. But then it's time for number 1. You probably all know this. But at number 1, we have Hyperion. Now, Hyperion is a Mack hypercoaster, which opened back in 2024, the newest coaster at Thorpe Park. We waited 12 years for it, and it just delivered. What a coaster we got. Obviously, if you watched my Thorpe Park vlog back in August, when I rode Hyperion for the first time, I wasn't a big fan of it, but obviously I had a front and a back, loads of back row rides over the remainder of the year, and I fell in love with the coaster. It's my number 1 in the UK now. It is a long coaster with a length of 3,265 foot, longest coaster in length at Thorpe Park, height of 236 foot. It is the tallest in the UK and also the fastest with a speed of 81 miles per hour, and you do feel that speed at the bottom of the first drop. Features 2 inversions, a barrel roll down drop on the Crema roll, and a stalled dive loop. Absolutely love that dive loop, I do. But let's start with the experience. I do prefer a back row to the front row. I've had about 5 back row rides, only 1 front row, so that's probably why. But I absolutely love it. Obviously, you climb the lift with the lifter launch. It really builds the anticipation. The views across Thorpe Park is incredible. Absolutely love that. And then you down that first drop, that twisted drop. The airtime, hang time, and intensity on that drop is incredible. Then you make your way into an intense moment, non-inverted. It's not an inversion. It is an airtime moment, actually. Good airtime on that thing. Absolutely love it. And then you make your way into the Crema roll. Now that is the outer banked inversion element. It's absolutely crazy, that is. It's definitely my favourite element on the ride. There's nothing else like that anywhere in the world. To go outer bank, then inversion round at a height of about 160 foot at that point is incredible. And then you get down to the bottom of that drop and you think, what's next? And then you make your way into the stall dive loop, which is absolutely incredible. The hang time on that stall is fantastic. You just don't know when it's going to end. And that is pretty much where the ride ends for me. I don't really like the ending to this ride. And that is because the trim breaks after the dive loop. It was a fountain effect, a water fountain, but that stopped because of the rust on the track. And now it's just trim brakes, and you really feel that speed being lost on that trim brakes. Then you enter into a outer banked airtime hill, which is quite fun actually. And then you make your way into the final airtime moment on the ride, into the final brake run. I absolutely love Hyperion. It's definitely my favourite coaster, and I can't wait to ride it more this year. But yeah, that's my top 8 roller coasters at Thorpe Park. If you've enjoyed, make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you follow my Instagram at Luke Theme Park Thrills. There will be more ranking videos from Blackpool Pleasure Beach coming soon. So stay tuned for that. I've been Luke. Goodbye.